Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
I guess we can just start with, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your career and, just how you started Vessel.
Yeah. So I've been building companies now for about 25 years. I started my first one in college selling baby products out of my dorm room. The idea for Vessel came actually when I was working on my third company. I'd kind of hit my mid 30s. I've been working on building companies for like 15 years. And I started noticing like small health issues that were kind of hindering me from performing at my highest level. So like I wasn't sleeping as good as I normally was. I was like waking up a couple times a week in the middle of the night, tons of energy. My brain wouldn't shut off. I was having issues with like certain foods I'd eat. I kind of go into like a little bit of a food coma, a little sluggish afterwards. Needed coffee to kind of keep going. I had like memory issues that were popping up. So like small things like that. And I'd heard about this concept of functional medicine where they take a blood draw, they understand what's going on inside your body, and then they dial it in, specifically with like a food program, supplement program, lifestyle changes. That sounded really cool. I found a functional doctor, got my whole blood draw done, and I learned a ton of stuff about me. I had no idea what was going on. Like I was eating a lot of sushi, so I had mercury poisoning. That was hurting my memory effect. I was low in magnesium, which most of us are. That affects sleep, energy, mood, a lot of things, key ingredients. It's really hard to get it entirely from food. So I started getting a really nice high quality supplement. I started intermittent fasting. I didn't even know what that was before I saw a functional doctor. And that made a big difference in sort of energy levels and not needing coffee and things like that. So I've just been on a personalized wellness journey ever since. And I love that whole process. The only downside was it was so expensive, thousands of dollars. For all the blood work and for $500 an hour for the best doctors. And so the idea behind Vessel is let's make that available to everyone. We've got a $20 test card that you just pee on right here. You wait 3 minutes, you scan it, and all of a sudden you know what's going on inside your body. You know your magnesium levels, vitamin C levels, hydration levels, ketones, UTIs. It's kind of like a good starter kit to understand your body. Then the app gives you personalized food, supplement, lifestyle recommendations. And then if you want to go deeper from there, you can do additional testing. But that's the concept, is making it more affordable, more accessible, this idea of functional medicine.
Awesome. And can you tell me a little bit more about your role? Because you mentioned, I think you're one of the founders, but I guess your current role and I guess just from that standpoint.
Yeah. So co-founder, me and my buddy Matt started this. He was like the scientist, engineer. I was like the entrepreneur, CEO. And so together we formed a good partnership. He helped build out all the test card functionality while I focused primarily on the app and building the company out, raising the money. We raised about 25 million to get the test card to market and hired, 50 employees. And, that's kind of how we divided up the company. I did that part and he did the rest. Now that we've got the test card done, we don't spend as much time on the science side of things. We're really focused on the app. And so now I spend most of my time on the app. And in fact, now we're trying to bring in artificial intelligence into the app so that it can kind of realize the vision we've always had of a functional doctor in your pocket. So that is my core right now, app, AI, building out the final piece of the vision to have a functional doctor with you just via your app. Yeah, that's my current role. That's my current focus. There is my official title now.
Okay, cool. And then I guess before you started working with me or with us, what challenges did you have? I think that we met on Upwork, so I guess before we started working, we've been working together. I think for a year and a half, give or take, right?
Yeah, it's our challenge was we always focused primarily on iOS and had a really beautiful experience on iOS, and then we needed to figure out how to get that experience to be duplicated on Android and cost effectively, because by that point we didn't have the kind of budget that we had previously. The whole market got a lot tighter on raising capital, and a lot of companies, almost all companies, have gone through really tightening of the belt. Like, how do you spend less money? How do you lower your burn? get through some of these tough financial times that we're all facing right now. And so that was really the key, was I think the affordability and, good high ratings that you guys had to help us kind of get Android up to speed with iOS, because what we sell is a test card, and, some of the people we work with are in the UK where half the people are on Android. You can't really sell a product like that and then say to half the users, well, you can't actually use it because you have an Android phone. So we were kind of in that tricky position where it wasn't just an app, it was an actual product. So we needed both apps to function well with the product. And so, that's where we were looking for some help, and that's where you guys came in.
I was, when we started work on Bezel, we were hired for the Android, but we started working on iOS and kept working on iOS for the whole time. And,
really?
I believe that was the time when Android was neglected a lot and more focus was towards iOS.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, back in those days, a year and a half ago, I didn't even, I wasn't the CTO, so I didn't really work with you guys at all. My interaction with you really started in the late summer, when we needed to build Android, or actually probably early this year. Now I think about it, because our practitioners started requesting that we have Android functioning. So yeah, I'm not super familiar with the work that you guys did prior to that. Our CTO really handled that. I think you guys probably worked with Bo, is my guess. Yeah,
Bo was there.
Yeah, that was news to me. I think when Dan filled me in on that, I was like, oh wow, I thought we'd just done a little bit of stuff with you guys. I didn't realize you were building like iOS as well.
Yeah. We've been working with you guys, I think, Qasim, right, for a year and a half now, maybe, right?
We started work in 2021, December 2021. I remember that at that time there was Christmas holidays everywhere, and we were working on Vessel.
Trying to crank through it. I do remember that. Yeah, I didn't realize that was you guys, but I remember he said he brought in some extra help.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess from like your side, I guess before that time, and I guess that you weren't the CTO, you weren't as involved with the technical aspect of it at that time. But I guess what challenges were you seeing? I think you mentioned that Android was being neglected, but I guess what challenges did you have just from the development side, like other development teams, or other developers that you work with prior to December of 21? Did you guys have, from the Vessel side, like who were you guys using? Just like what were your frustrations working with them?
We had an internal team, so I didn't hear a ton of frustrations. What I heard was that we needed to build faster. And so I think that's when Bo hired you guys, was to build more quicker. But again, I wasn't super involved in that process, but I do remember him saying he was bringing on some extra help because we had a lot we needed to get done in a short amount of time so we could show the next milestone to our investors, raise the next round. And, that was kind of the concept, I think, originally bringing you guys on. When I started taking over, it was primarily just focused on getting Android as, functioning or as close to iOS as possible. There's still some discrepancies between the two, but the core being the scanning functionality needed to work really well. It worked on most devices, but not all devices. We were probably short, 30-40% of devices couldn't scan accurately, which is such a key function for us and our company. So bringing you guys on to help us get up to 95% was really kind of the goal there. It's tricky with Android because the cameras are all over the place, but yeah, that was the challenge.
Awesome. And then I guess, like you mentioned, bring on some additional partners, but what are some of your other goals, I guess, in the next 6 to 12 months for Vessel and Vessel's growth?
Yeah, it's AI right now. I mean, we're working with LLMs to help our customers that are using our app to get to the root cause of their health issues like never before. I mean, before this, we'd have to look at your urine test and ask you a bunch of questions. And it's like a decent way to kind of get to the root cause of what ails you, but it's not the best. If you went to a doctor, they would sit down and ask you 30, 40 questions. They would tailor those questions based on how you responded to each one. They would look at multiple different tests, blood, saliva, stool, whatever you were willing to do, and then they would get to the root cause and then build a personalized food supplement lifestyle plan. That's what our AI integration is going to do. It's going to be able to get to the root cause of your issue by a series of really targeted, intelligent questions based on the specific problems you're facing, looking at data that's going on inside your body based on any testing you've done. If you've done DNA testing, let's get your Apple Health linked up. Let's, link up all of these testing data. And then these LLMs are just so well trained on, functional medicine and just conventional medicine, that they can get to that root cause and they can build a personalized program. It's going to be really powerful, transformative even. I mean, I think of it as like the current benefit you get from the Vessel app, integrating AI somewhere between 3 to 10 times more impactful in terms of figuring out the root cause and solving it and actually getting to an improved state of health and wellness. It's probably 3 to 10 times more effective. It's like been the missing link, I think, for the vision that I originally had, which was this functional doctor in your pocket.
I believe this will be the game changer in your application. Like this is seriously something that's going to disrupt the market. So, by the way, your application is still using machine learning for the module of scanning a card, because whatever the cards you're scanning behind the scene, machine learning is the module of machine learning that's learning how to read this card. So, another AI module, I believe, will be going to change the game.
Yeah, I heard we were using some ML on that side, which is great, and I think that helped us overcome a lot of challenges with the scanning. And now it's generative AI. It's going to be really fascinating to see how much of an impact it has on users, on people. I can't wait. I'm going to be able to try out a little bit of a demo in a couple of weeks, and we're going to build it on iOS first because we just don't have the bandwidth to do it across the board, and we'll probably be working with you guys to help us out on trying to get the Android side working as well. Basically, the AI ties into the Today page, which has all your recommendations, and they communicate back and forth. So the AI builds your daily plan. We're also going to be bringing in all kinds of cool stuff to help you stick to your plan, gamification, cognitive behavioral therapy, things like that, so that you do the activities there as well. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting rest of this year. I think by the end of this year, we'll have a pretty incredible product.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And Qasim and I obviously are very excited as well because, like I said, I mean, we've been working with you guys for a while. So I would say, what has been the impact from the Vessel side of working with our company, with Southlake Consulting?
Well, I think it's it's been helpful to get the support where we needed it and be able to do it in chunks as we needed it. Having an internal development team is really expensive, and sometimes you just need a little bit of extra help, like getting Android going. So that was really nice to be able to kind of projectize it. I really like the concept of charging by project. I think that's really smart, and it makes it puts the onus on the dev team to really hit their targets, and it relieves stress for the company itself that they have a set budget and they have a set timeline, and maybe the timeline isn't hit, but at least the budget will be hit consistently, which I think is really important. It's hard to always hit timelines with development. There's always these little ninja, things that pop up. So that I think that's understood across the board. But when you can keep your budget in line, that's a beautiful thing, especially for a startup that has limited cash. And I've also really liked your attitude, Dan, as understanding the challenges I think that startups go through and being flexible and working with the startups to try to make everything work. That's really important. You need somebody that's kind of on your side and has your back as you're building these things, because startups are really hard. Tons of things go wrong, and it's just good to know you've got somebody that's in your corner ready to help when you need it and understands cash crunches and all the other challenges that startups go through. So that's been nice.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. I would say that for us, it's everybody who we work with, we view them as a partner. It's like we don't like to just do one project and be done. It's like we like to be with companies. A lot of our clients have worked with us for a while. So it's like we like to kind of, we don't want to just build something and say bye and just forget about it. We like to build things out and support them and be around as long as we're needed. We're viewed we like to be growth partner, as you're growing, for us to be there and support you guys and support Vessel. And, for us, when you guys do well, we do well, and we're excited. We're excited for the AI, and and we're excited to kind of see what the next 6 to 12 months hold. I would say so. For anybody listening to this, how likely are you to recommend working with us, and why should someone listening act now?
Yeah, I think project-based billing is rare in the tech space. And you can see your ratings and reviews are pretty transparent on Upwork, which is really nice. And so if you've got really good reviews and you've got project-based billing, it's just hard to beat that. That's ultimately, if you're going to outsource and not doing an internal team, those are the two key fundamental pieces that should be a requirement. lots and lots of good reviews and project-based billing, and you're probably in good hands at that point. If you miss either one of those, you could face some really tough times. You could get yourself into a lot of trouble. So I think you guys have both of those, so people can feel confident and comfortable in working with you. And it takes a while to build that up. So kudos to you guys for taking care of a lot of people and getting the good reviews and being willing to do project-based billing.
Awesome. And then I guess, Qasim, do you have any more questions for Jon?
Not the questions, but I just want to say we wish you best of luck, and hopefully, I believe this is one of the system we really want to, rule in the market. We we are with this project from our hearts from the day one. From day one, we think like this is something good, and this is something we should support, and this is something we can portray to someone. There will be a day when we will say, hey, see, this is Vessel Health. We worked on it. So there will be a day when we will say this.
Yeah, and that's what we strive to be on our side. We strive to be a kind of a world-changing company, and one you're really proud to work with, and one we're really proud to work on as well. Life's short. You got to work on cool stuff. Otherwise, you're just working for the money. It's not as fun.
Awesome.